such ordinances would be limited to the period specified in Articles 89 and 128 of the Constitution, was 4 months and 3 months respectively from the date of their promulgation. Then they go on. They say, but the fact is that de facto they've taken effect. People have ordered their lives in accordance with these ordinances, even though this longevity given to them, this permanence given to them, was unconstitutional. Therefore, in paragraph 188, kindly see, they give certain timelines. In the light of the above, the question of validation of such ordinances would be required to be decided by the Parliament or the concerned provincial assemblies. However, the period of 4 months and 3 months mentioned respectively in Articles 89 and 128 of the Constitution would be deemed to commence from the date of the short order passed in this case on 31st July 2009, and steps may be taken to lay such ordinances before the Parliament or the respective provincial assemblies in accordance with law during the aforesaid periods. So they have derived a timeline by basing it on a provision of the law, but deriving a principle out of that law, deriving guidance out of that stated position in the Constitution. There is nothing, no law says that if an ordinance is unconstitutionally prolonged, if its tenure is unconstitutionally prolonged, there is no law which takes care of that situation. So the court then has to come up by relying on the principles embedded in the Constitution and the need to bring the matter back to the constitutional path without causing chaos. The court will give timelines. So the court said, okay, from the date of our short order, we are giving you 4 months or 3 months to lay these ordinances before the relevant legislature. Now this is an exercise of the inherent power of this court to do complete justice in order to bring the system back to the constitutional path. Otherwise, there is no written law which would say that if an ordinance has been wrongly extended, the court may rely on section so-and-so to allow validation within 4 months or allow validation within 3 months. That is something the court comes up with again and again. So that's an important aspect of this judgment. And while I'm at it, may I just also very briefly refer to PLD 89, Supreme Court 75. This is the presidential reference number 1 of 1988.
PLD
1989, Supreme Court, page 75. I have placed before your lordships 7 notes. If these are there, Lord, I wanted to save time. And in these 7 notes, there is note number 4, which is titled, Court Exercising Its Powers to Cure the Effect of a Constitutional Deviation. And here I've not belabored my argument by reference to too many judgments. I could have referred to the presidential reference of 1955, but I have not done so. I've just restricted my submissions by way of an example to 2 cases, the Sindh High Court Bar judgment of 2009 and the Supreme Court judgment in the presidential reference number 1 of 1988. Now kindly see what had happened then in 1988. The Assembly had been dissolved on the 29th of May 1988. The Constitution, Article 86, provides for expenditure for a period of 4 months. In the event of the dissolution of the Assembly, the Cabinet may authorize expenditure for a maximum term of 4 months. Now those 4 months had elapsed or were about to elapse. On the 18th of August 1988, General Zia passed away, and the date for the elections that was then fixed was the 16th of November and the 19th of November for national and provincial. These were staggered elections. So the question arose, what is to be done? The Constitution does not allow for expenditure beyond 4 months in the event of the dissolution of an Assembly. An argument was sought to be made in terms of Article 254 of the Constitution. The court rejected that. The court said this is not an Article 254 situation. Here a constitutional deviation. In fact, when the reference was filed, it was about to occur. We were still within the 4-month period, but they said there is no way that an Assembly can now be elected and pass a budget and authorize expenditures. So what should we do? The court then proceeded, kindly see, I have placed certain paragraphs out of that judgment for your lordships and my lady's perusal. I've moved from paragraph 84 onwards, which gives the brief facts. And then if I may come to para 86, which I've reproduced. This is, as I mentioned, that part of this judgment where my father and I was assisting him, we played a role. And the submission made was that derive a timeline from the principles of the Constitution. The Constitution envisages that in the event of the dissolution of an assembly, within 90 days, elections will take place. That's the outer limit. And then, after 90 days, the Constitution is in effect giving a 1-month period for the passing of the budget. So the argument made was that treat the 16th of November as the end of that 90-day period, even though the 90-day period had ended much earlier, but adopt a constitutional or a legal fiction, treat the 16th of November as the end of the 90-day period, and give the Parliament to be elected on the 16th of November, a period of 1 month, to pass the budget. Now, this was a submission made by some of us. There was an alternative submission made that the date of the order in this case, the presidential reference was the 5th of October, 1988. And Justice Shafiur Rahman and Justice Zulla Saab, they held that the 4-month period will commence from the date of our short order on the 5th of October 1988. So the point that I'm making is that your lordships can come up with varying solutions to a situation of a constitutional deviation. So Justice Zulla Saab and Justice Shafiur Rahman Saab said 4 months from the date of our short order, which is similar to what happens in Sindh High Court Bar. You give 4 months from the date of your short order for the validation of ordinances. The majority, however, went with the other proposal that 30 days be given from the date of the election, which was fixed on the 16th and the 19th. So if my lords would go through these passages in the judgment, the principle that when there has been a constitutional deviation, the court can lay down a procedure for coming back to the constitutional path. And if that procedure entails actions that are to be taken, then the timelines for those actions can be prescribed by the court. So this is what in these two judgments happened, and I just wanted to place these before the court. Now kindly see, coming back to Sindh High Court Bar.
Do you mean that in the 8-member judgment, 3 days' time has been extended?
No, not 3 days, not at all. I've already explained that to my lady, that question was asked. 3 days was for joining a political party. For an actual independent to join a political party, 3 days were given. But what the majority has held here is that, in fact, there is no need to join a political party. These 39 plus 41 will be deemed to be PTI. Only the confirmation of their status is to be obtained within 15 days. So this is completely different from extending the 3-day time limit. Kindly see, in the judgment, I take your lordships to paragraph 110 at page 58. I'm looking at CMA 2919. They expressly say that we are deriving this time period from the spirit of Section 66 of the Election Act 2017.
2919 of?
Para 110 at page 58 of CMA 2919 of 2025. This is the paper book I've been using for reading the judgment.
Para kaun sa? Page?
Page 58, kindly see.
Para?
Para 110. So they're saying, look, what is the intent of the Election Act? How does a person, a candidate, come to be considered to be a candidate of a particular party?
Padhiye.
As held above, while exercising their general powers under Article 2183 and Article 187(1) of the Constitution respectively, the Commission and this Court must endeavour to adhere to the spirit and substance of the provisions of law that, although not explicitly covering the matter or issue, are closely related to it, so that the legislative intent may be given effect to the maximum extent possible. According to Section 66 of the Elections Act, 2 elements make a person the candidate of a political party. Number 1, the candidate's own declaration that he belongs to that party, and number 2, the party's certificate, party ticket, nominating him as its candidate. It is thus a matter between the candidate and the party to which he claims affiliation. No consent or authorization from any third party or authority is required to establish their relationship and the candidate's status. This is the substance and spirit of Section 66 of the Elections Act.
But for this, you have to file the party ticket or not?
Yes, but one of
Maybe between you and your
Yes,
candidate.
but-
But what is the proof of that?
Yes, sir. Now, what happened here was that for 39, there is some proof in the documents filed that they're PTI. For the others, the majority has said there is sufficient evidence available to establish that these peculiar facts and circumstances had resulted in gross confusion.
Whether any such evidence was discussed in the judgment?
Yes, my lord, yes.
Which is that evidence?
My lord, they have discussed my CM, the CM that I had filed.
In the judgment.
Ji, in the judgment. I'll come to that. I'm short of time, so I'm not going there. But they've discussed in detail the CM that I filed, 5917. I had filed. I had filed CMA 5913 on behalf of PTI and Barrister Gohar Khan. That CM is discussed in great detail at various points in this judgment, but even if we leave that to aside, in paragraph 96, the court has taken note of the fact that the explanation to Rule 94 had in effect, as framed by the Election Commission in terms of Section 239 of the Elections Act, and as applied through its various orders, including the order in my case, which is
Para 96 of the judgment.
Para 96 May, they give the facts that they are relying on, and I submitted these facts have not been challenged. So this is the factual premise of the judgment, and nobody has challenged these.
पढ़ तो दीजिए
जी,
ना जरा।
सर फिर मैं थोड़ा आगे चला जाऊंगा
कोई नहीं,
इससे।
आप आगे चले
ओके,
जाइए,
वेरी
आप
काइंड
पढ़
सर,
लीजिए।
वेरी काइंड। मैंने जो अपना बजट किया था उसमें ये नहीं था शामिल, बट मैं ये पढ़ देता हूँ, आपका हुक्म है। In the present case, as discussed and determined above, the unlawful acts and omissions of the returning officers and the Commission, which have caused confusion and prejudice to PTI, its candidates, and the electorate who voted for PTI are numerous and include the following. So include, this is not an exhaustive list, and they've come to the conclusion that confusion and prejudice to PTI was indeed caused. So this is the factual finding. And what are some of the facts that they rely on? The wrong omission to clarify in its order dated 22nd December 2023 by the Commission that PTI is an enlisted and functioning political party, notwithstanding the rejection of its intra-party elections and non-allocation of an election symbol. 2. The wrong omission to clarify in its order dated 13 January 2024 by the Commission that PTI is an enlisted and functioning political party, notwithstanding that it has not been allocated an election symbol and that the candidates nominated by it are to be treated and mentioned as PTI candidates, not as independent candidates in the whole election process. So no evidence is needed, these are admitted orders. Then 3, wrongly number 2, the wrong mentioning of the status of PTI candidates by the returning officers as independent candidates in the list of contesting candidates, Form 33. 4, the wrong decision on the application of a PTI candidate, Mr. Raja, by the Commission in rejecting his claim to be mentioned as a PTI candidate in the list of contesting candidates, Form 33. 5, the wrong mentioning of PTI returned candidates by the Commission as independent returned candidates in the Section 98 notification. And 6, the wrong acceptance of the joining of some returned candidates to SIC by the Commission, despite that it was not such a political party to which an independent returned candidate could join under the proviso to paragraphs D and E of Article 51, Clause 6 and paragraph C of Article 106(3) or under Clause 2 of Article 63A of the Constitution. In addition to the above, the making of an unconstitutional rule, i.e. the explanation to Rule 94 of the election rules by the Commission, which disentitles a political party to which an election symbol is not allotted from the allocation of reserved seats despite its winning the general seats, also contributed to causing confusion and prejudice to PTI, its candidates and the electorate. Further, it is observed with respect the decision by this court on 13 January 2024 in the matter of intra-party elections of PTI on the very day that was fixed for submission of party certificates, party tickets and allotment of the election symbols as per the election program, and that too without clarifying that the said decision did not affect the electoral status of PTI and its candidates, also contributed in causing confusing and prejudice to PTI, its candidates and the electorate. So this is the factual premise, and nobody has challenged it before you.
Raji, to my understanding, it means that party was there. It was
Yes.
very much there.
Yes.
Lekin some of the candidates mention in their nomination papers that they belong to PTI.
And some did not.
Some did not.
Yes.
So,
So-
how many of them mention in their...
39 mentioned, जो record election commission ने पेश किया, and I have submitted
लेकिन वो
that
39 आप कहते हैं कि आपके उस लिस्ट से लिए गए हैं या 80
जी 80 की लिस्ट
जो
आई,
आप कहते हैं कि आपने वोटर्स के लिए एक जारी की थी
उसमें भी थे ये.
वो देखिए ना, दैट इज नॉट द रिकॉर्ड और द एविडेंस बिफोर द
So it was, I filed it, sir.
कह रहे हैं कि एडमिटेड पोजीशन या अनडिस्प्यूटेड
सर वो मैंने फाइल की है, that is nobody
की होगी
disputed
फाइल?
that. I filed that list with my CM 5917.
सैकड़ों डॉक्यूमेंट आप फाइल कर सकते
सर, वो
हैं,
हुआ-
आपको कोई नहीं रोक सकता उनसे.
सर
लेकिन
उसको नहीं सर, मैंने उसका हवाला भी दिया, मैंने बिल्कुल
दिया होगा
सर वो मौजूद था रिकॉर्ड पे, ये देखिए.
वो आपकी देखे ना, वो आपका एक प्राइवेट रिकॉर्ड है ऑफ
प्राइवेट नहीं है सर, कोर्ट में फाइल किया मैंने 25 जून को.
इससे
इससे
पहले
पहले 41 अफराद जो इंडिपेंडेंट थे, अगर उनके एफिडेविट फाइल कर देते तो भी कोई बात होती. वो तो कोई ना
नहीं सर, ये
होता.
अब सर मैं भी अर्ज कर रहा हूँ.
यही बात, क्वेश्चन यही है इसमें कि वेयर द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डेविएशन इज. क्या
सर, हुआ यूं-
जजमेंट के जरिए डेविएशन
नहीं सर, नहीं.
या इलेक्शन कमीशन ने डेविएशन.
Deviation होती है through explanation to Rule 94. Actually, that is the prime deviation here.
No, before that, you are referring only Rule 94, but it is also mentioned in Section 67 of the Elections Act. If a person fails to file the party ticket,
जी, जी.
he will be treated independent.
But that's a different matter. But sir,
It's not a different
no, sir.
matter.
So
If
that
you
is a
will read
different.
that, it can, please read subsection 3 of Section 67.
My lord.
A candidate not nominated by any
जी, वो तो ठीक हो
political
गया.
party hereinafter
choose-
called
जी,
as
जी.
independent candidate shall choose and shall be
बिल्कुल ठीक हो
allotted
गया.
one of the
Sir, the
symbols
issue
not
here was-
allocated to any political party.
Sir, the issue here was as follows.
राजा साहब, ये 39 जो थे, इनको पार्टी ने टिकट दिया था?
सबको टिकट दिए थे, हमने लिस्ट फाइल कर दी थी
अभी
कि.
आपने पैरा 110 पढ़ा.
सर मुझे एक लम्हा जवाब देने दीजिए. This is.
सलमान साहब एक ये बात बताएं कि इसमें जब पार्टी ने कोई इनिशिएटिव लिया, जब पार्टी टिकट्स इन्होंने इंडिपेंडेंट डिक्लेयर करा इनको कैंडिडेट्स को 41 कैंडिडेट्स को, तो पार्टी ने कोई इनिशिएटिव लिया इस बात पे कि
I challenged everything. Sir, I acted on behalf of the party. I filed a writ petition in the Lahore High Court in which I challenged the vires of the explanation to Rule
Whether this was
94.
an
I
independent
challenged.
रही ना.
Independent petition थी या पार्टी की तरफ से थी? मतलब this
Sir, it was in
petition
a
was
representative
filed.
capacity. When you
independent.
challenge the vires of a provision, it is not a personal matter. I was challenging the vires for all. I said this explanation to Rule 94 has been relied upon to say that since you have not been given a symbol because of your intra-party elections not having been accepted, we will treat you as independent. Kindly look at the Rule 94.
प्रोसीडिंग तो हाफ वे में रही ना, फाइनलाइज
सर मैं अर्ज करता हूं, अब तो सर हम रिव्यू में है ना. So the 8-member majority has accepted this as enough. They have said yes, and my lord pointed out the other day, has this ever happened in the history of this country that 80 independents join one particular
अभी
party?
आपने पैरा 110 पढ़ा,
जी,
उस पे
on the same day. So these are,
कंडीशन.
sir, अब issue ये है कि these, we are not arguing the case de novo.
राजा साहब, अगर पैराग्राफ 1 एक मरतबा फिर पढ़ लें.
कौन सा sir?
पैराग्राफ 110
110.
पेज 58.
I go there now, sir. I go there.
This is the criteria.
TG, I go there.
अकॉर्डिंग टू सेंटर से ही पढ़ने, अकॉर्डिंग टू सेक्शन 66 ऑफ
जी जी,
इलेक्शन एक्ट.
as held above, मैं एक मिनट सर, while exercising their general powers under Article 2183 and Article 187(1) of the Constitution respectively, the Commission and this Court must endeavour to adhere to the spirit and substance of the provisions of law that, although not explicitly covering the matter or issue, are closely related to it, so that the legislative intent may be given effect to the maximum extent possible. According to Section 66 of the Election Act, two elements make a person the candidate of a...
This is very relevant.
G, of a
Two
political
elements.
party. The candidate's own declaration that he belongs to that party and the party's certificate, party ticket nominating him as its candidate. It is thus a matter between the candidate and the party to which he claims affiliation. No consent or authorization from any third person or authority is required to establish their relationship and the candidate's status. This is the substance and spirit of Section 66 of the Elections Act. And then in para 111 onwards, they give 15 days for establishing this.
These two elements were missing in 41 candidates' nomination
Sir,
paper.
and what they've said is, kindly see, I had mentioned last time also that after the 24th of December 2023, the Election Commission had refused to accept the lists for women's reserved seats and minorities reserved seats that we filed on the ground that we were no longer a political party that could be recognized. Now, this order was passed before the 24th, in fact. Now, this is what caused the gross confusion. Our candidates who were going with duly filled up nomination papers mentioning PTI, then because of the Election Commission returning, और सारी litigation मैंने आपके सामने रखी है 5917 पे. This litigation is taking place on the 23rd of December 2023, 24th of December, goes on till the 29th of December. And I've placed the judgments of the Lahore High Court here. मैं एक लम्हे में आता हूँ. So the Election Commission had taken a clear position after its order of the 22nd of December 2023, not accepting our intra-party elections or the PTI intra-party elections, that PTI would not be recognized as a political party for the purposes of this election. Now, as soon as that position was taken, and it is there in black and white in my CM 5917, I filed this, we had then no choice. We had to then take a decision. Some people nevertheless went ahead and declared their affiliation to PTI. Others, out of fear that if they declare their affiliation to PTI, their papers might get rejected, as was the case in the reserved seats lists. The Election Commission had already returned those lists by saying, we will not accept anything from PTI, because PTI we do not recognize as a political party. So this is the confusion that existed after the 22nd of December 2023, and the court has duly taken notice of this. That there was great confusion caused by the actions of the Election Commission. That is why Ali Muhammad Khan, Shahryar Afridi, so many people, all of those 41, when we look at that list appended to the judgment, these are well-known party leaders. They're office bearers of the party. All of them, those 41, ended up filing papers.
आपका इंट्रा पार्टी इलेक्शन है, इलेक्शन कमीशन ने नहीं माना वो
जी
वो कहीं से डिक्लेयर हुआ है कि दैट इज ए वैलिड इलेक्शन
नहीं, वो ठीक है, हमने भी बाओ इसे आपने मान ली वो बात.
फिर कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस
नहीं
होंगे
सर, कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस तो अब आपने सब 13 ने ये कह दिया कि जो एक्सप्लेनेशन टू रूल 94 है वो अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है.
something
सो द
else.
इलेक्शन कमीशन वाज एक्टिंग ऑन द एक्सप्लेनेशन टू रूल 94. सर एक लम्हे के लिए देख लीजिए, दिस एंटायर controversy has arisen because of the explanation to Rule 94. Agar ye explanation na hoti, the Election Commission would have had no legs to take the position that it took. Kindly see, the key deviation here is the explanation to Rule 94, which was duly challenged by us. Kindly see. If we go to the Election Rules 2017 and Rule 94, we see why this confusion was caused, and then I will refer to the writ petitions and the orders that were passed on or around the 22nd of December 2023. In the face of the Election Commission even refusing to accept lists from PTI. So kindly see, Rule 94. The Commission shall by notification, I leave that, in the official gazette declare the total number of... Yes, ab theek hai, no problem with that. It's the explanation which then confounds everything. For the purpose of this rule, the expression political party means a political party to which a symbol has been allocated by the Commission. Now, as soon as this rule is given effect, they said, look, we have not given you a symbol because we have not accepted your intra-party election. So for the purposes of this rule, you are not.
इसके अलावा क्या इफेक्ट होगा if the intra party election is not accepted by the election?
Sir, आपने तो खुद, all 13 of you have said that it could have carried on as a political party. उसको de-recognize as a political party नहीं करना था. ये तो आप 13 के 13 ने ये बात मान ली. So this rule all of you have held is ultra vires the Act and the Constitution. Under Article 17(2), there is only one way to de-recognize a political party, through a reference and so on. So this is the accepted position by all 13 members of the bench that this explanation was ultra vires. Now, this explanation caused the confusion as regards the status of PTI candidates. So,
नहीं, ये तो
किसके
सबने
judgment?
नहीं कहा और
सर कहा है सर, मैं अभी कह रहा हूं। सर ये कहा है, आप सब ने कहा है।
अगर आपका
8 में तो है
जी।
8 मेंबर्स में तो है
जी।
मेजॉरिटी जजमेंट में, मगर
सर आई
रूल 94 को स्ट्राइक डाउन किया ये
जी, किया है, सर,
नॉट इन
किया
माय
है।
नॉलेज।
2 members हमने भी किया।
उन्होंने भी किया है सर, किया है सर, ये तो सब ने कहा है। मे बी आप दो ने ना कहा हो, माय लॉर्ड जस्टिस अमीनुद्दीन एंड नईम अख्तर साहब, बट बाकी
चीफ जस्टिस साहब ने भी नहीं कहा।
11 नो सर, चीफ जस्टिस साहब जॉइंट जस्टिस मंदोखेल, उनकी जजमेंट कॉमन है। So,
No, Chief Justice.
8 plus 2 have clearly said that the explanation to Rule 94 was void, was ultra vires.
यही आपसे क्वेश्चन यही है ना कि accept this explanation.
जी,
What is the effect of non-election?
now nothing other than that no symbol will be given. They will remain party members, they will remain candidates of the party.
Even then he remains the chairman of the party.
Everything
Even
follows, sir.
election is not
Everything
accepted.
follows except there is no symbol. So, with different symbols, the party candidates could have contested the election.
नहीं, गौहर साहब उसके बावजूद भी फिर चेयरमैन होंगे वो जिस इलेक्शन को
Caretaker
election
setup,
commission-
there must be a
तो ये एक
caretaker
सेपरेट इशू है, इस पे भी फैसला दिया है एक मेंबर ने, मैं आता हूं उस पे। दैट्स अ सेपरेट इशू, द स्टेटस ऑफ गौर खान एंड द स्टेटस ऑफ द टिकट्स इशूड बाय हिम, वो एक सेपरेट इशू है, एंड द 8 members have dealt with it at length. I'll come to that in a moment. My lord, आपका सवाल था सर।
क्या वो जो इलेक्शन का डिक्लेयर किया कि इलेक्शन नहीं हुआ, तो देयर मस्ट बी सम केयरटेकर सेटअप फॉर द पार्टी।
जी, वो आपने ये कहा कि ये डिफैक्टो डॉक्ट्रिन है, हम पार्टी को रोक तो नहीं रहे। अब अगर इंट्रा पार्टी ठीक नहीं हुआ, then whoever is in office as a result of, जैसे कि आप हर दफा करते हैं, सिंध हाई कोर्ट में भी आपने किया, you give effect to what is now the well-known de facto doctrine, and the 8 members have expressly said कि पार्टी की फंक्शनिंग को रोकना तो मकसद नहीं है इस प्रोविजन का। ये प्रोविजन सिर्फ इतना कहती है कि इंट्रा पार्टी नहीं होगा तो आपको टिकट नहीं मिलेगा, लेकिन पार्टी तो कायम रहेगी, पार्टी
There
तहलील
was
तो नहीं।
still an opportunity given कि आप इलेक्शन कर लो तो सब ठीक हो जाएगा।
जी, वो फिर हमने
इसका
किया
मतलब ये
ना।
नहीं था कि पार्टी बैन होगी।
जी बिल्कुल, और वो फिर हमने किया इलेक्शन बाद में, वो दोबारा चैलेंज हुआ है, बट वील सी व्हाट हैपेंस देयर। सो वी डिड another election in response to the direction of the election
आप
commission.
देखें, एक चीज ये सामने आ रही कि आप ये मान रहे हैं कि देयर वाज सम कंफ्यूजन, अदरवाइज द लॉ वाज वेरी मच क्लियर। तो आपको ऐसी
Confusion explanation की वजह से थी
कोई भी
सर,
ऐसे-
बाकी लॉ क्लियर था।
कोई ऐसे सिचुएशन बता दें कि जिसमें कंफ्यूजन की वजह से गलत काम किया और उसको रेक्टिफाई।
जी सर, देखिए, दिस इज अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल वायलेशन, इट इज अ कंफ्यूजन कॉज्ड बाय अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल वायलेशन। नाउ the explanation to Rule 94 and the actions on the basis of this explanation caused a grave violation, almost of the same magnitude as a direct interference by an extra constitutional body into the process of the election. Asghar Khan case ho ya emergency 3rd November ki ho, this disentitled, disenfranchised
None of those 41 candidate has come forward till date.
सर नहीं, उनके बिहाफ पे सर देखिए,
कोई एक आके
चलिए सर, ये आपने इस बात कर
कोई
ली
एक
बात।
आके कहता कि जब चूंकि मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग,
सर, मैं अर्ज
चूंकि
करूं।
कंफ्यूजन,
सर, मैं अर्ज करूं।
दैट्स
ये-
व्हाई आई हैव रिटन
जी
इंडिपेंडेंट।
सर, ये जो आपका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है उन्होंने कंसिडर किया है। देयर इज अ पैराग्राफ व्हिच सेज कि वी कन्फर्ड अमंग आवरसेल्व्स, आपका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू यही था तब भी, और 8 मेंबर का ये था कि नहीं, यहां अब बिल्कुल ये रिट लार्ज है, हमें इंडिविजुअल एफिडेविट्स की जरूरत नहीं है। दिस इज अ फैक्ट ऑफ व्हिच वी कैन टेक जुडिशियल नोटिस दैट बिकॉज ऑफ दिस एक्सप्लेनेशन, ये जो मैंने मटेरियल फाइल किया 5917 में, मैं तेजी तेजी से बयान करता गया था, एक्सप्लेन मैंने क्या फाइल की है, काइंडली सी, इफ माय लॉर्ड्स विल जस्ट लुक एट व्हाट आई हैड फाइल्ड विद CM 59